Hi folks, if you're thinking about signing your kids up for one of our fall clubs, but you're not sure what they're all about or which one might be the best for you, I thought I'd put this series of videos together to explain a little bit about each club, how they're different, and then you can pick which one you think would be the best fit. Our fall clubs are going to run for 10 weeks from September 11th through November 13th. The Engineers Club will meet on Wednesdays from 3 to 5, and this club is designed for students that are around the ages of 13 through 18, so 8th graders through 12th graders roughly. The idea behind the Engineers Club is if you are already into gaming a little bit, maybe you've tried some newer games, or maybe you just really like a challenge and you're interested in a little bit more strategy, you really like to match wits with some of your opponents, this would be the club for you. This is a club where we would explore the depths of different mechanics, so you could really dive in and see what the board gaming hobby has to offer. Here's an example of the type of game that we'd play with the Engineers Club. Okay, this is a game called Wingspan, and it's one of my favorite games ever. The idea behind Wingspan, first of all, is a game that's about birds. But in Wingspan, what you're doing is you're putting out birds in your aviary, and you're essentially trying to make the coolest or the best aviary group of birds competing against other players. And in this game, there are 3 different habitats. There's the woodlands, the grasslands, and the wetlands. And there are different types of birds that you're going to be playing in this game, in your aviary. And so on your turn, there are 4 different things you can do. You can play a bird, which is going to score you points. And for example, this kestrel, if you look where the feather is, that tells you how many points you will score at the end of the game. And that's the object of most games, is to score the most points. But in this game, there are a few different ways to score points, and one of them is just based on whichever birds you play. But in the game, you can play a bird, you can gain food, which will give you these tokens, and they're used as resources to actually play birds. So in order to play this bird, I would have to pay a worm and a rat in order to play this kestrel. So you can get more food by going at the top. You can lay eggs on birds, and there are a few reasons why you might do that. Let's say you have a few birds out here, okay? In order to play a bird in one of these columns, you have to pay the food cost, but you also have to pay the number of eggs at the top. So on the first column, there's no eggs. You can just play those for the food cost. But later on, you use eggs as a resource to play more birds. But also, eggs are worth points at the end of the game. And the cool thing about this game is, as you play throughout the game, let's say I had these birds already played and I wanted to gain food. What I would do is I would take my marker and I would put it to the right of the furthest bird that I have in that line. And what this tells me is I can gain 2 food from the bird feeder here. So let's say I took a worm here and a cherry, but then my token is going to move down the line. For this particular bird, it tells me once between turns I get to do something. So this one is kind of cool because it allows me to do something on other people's turns. But the ones with the brown powers, they say when activated, each player gains a food from the bird feeder, starting with the player of my choice. So let's say I wanted a rat, I could grab a rat, and then the player to my left would grab one of the other ones that are left. So each time you play on one of these areas, you're going to trigger all these different birds. And this is what's called an engine building game. And it's really cool because you can go in, you have a strategy long term. Okay, here are the things that I think I'm going to do to try to score points this game. But as different birds pop up here and become available, you got to change your tactics. And you may think about, oh, well, I think I'm going to try this instead. And so the game's different every single time too, because you have different birds that come out, and they come out in different combinations. Depending on what you roll in the bird feeder, you may have different types of resources that are available. You know, fish may come up a lot this game as opposed to other games where you may not have many fish at all. So this is the type of game that we would play with the Engineers Club. It takes a little more thought, you're getting in a little more depth, but it's not too heavy. And so, depending on what your kid's interested in, we have a different club each day of the week that should fit their needs. They ought to be able to find something that would interest them and their friends. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach us at sidetracksbgc@gmail.com. If you want to sign up for a club, just go to our Kickstarter page and you'll see the Fall 2023 Club reward level. If you pledge at that $65 level, we'll reach out to you and we'll find out what club you want to sign up for, and look forward to seeing you in the fall. We're going to have a lot of fun. See ya.